Your language today is so different to your language when you walk
You know
up into the
exactly where I
apartment.
stand. I don't really see myself moving right now. I've said from the start, do I see myself moving, for the right person, eventually, maybe one day, if that, I don't know,
For the right
maybe.
person, that
I feel like I'm on an island on my own. I feel like I'm seeing things that nobody else is seeing. I sadly am not buying the Carina's the victim storyline, and I don't know why we spent the majority of this episode on Paul and Carina. Whether it's because of the backlash from the issues to do with Paul punching the wall and everything else that has happened, or what exactly is going on. I don't get it, and I'm surprised that the producers allowed Jackie to get away without revealing the fact that she took the number from the other guy that she went on a date with. I don't know whether they're leaving that for, final vows. And then Adrian and Awhina. Is anyone surprised? Is anyone? Let's be for real. Are we surprised that Adrian, decided that he didn't need to go to final vows? I think if he's going to final vows, it's because he wants to be on the show right up until the very end. Because Awhina shouldn't be surprised by his behavior at all. Anyway, hey there. Thanks for stopping by. It's Valerie. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe. Click the like button. Turn on the notification bell for when I upload new videos. And definitely leave a comment. In this episode, I'll be reviewing Married at First Sight Australia, Season 12, Episode 36. Am I the only person who doesn't empathize with Carina? Can someone clarify for me, please? Because it seems like I'm the only person who doesn't empathize. Anyway, you have Paul. He's sort of talking about the fact that he regrets going on the date. He shouldn't have gone on the date. He's hypercritical of the date and the person that he went on the date with. And I'm side-eyeing him because he got there. He was excited initially, the way he gave her double kisses and he was sat there and he was excited and giddy. And so for him to turn around and say that was a terrible experience. Yes, it wasn't a good idea to go on the date, knowing who he's married to, because at the end of the day, she was always going to come out the victim, irregardless of what happened. Whether or not he had not gone on the date, she would have come out as the victim or as the most loyal, because she chose to do the laundry, she chose to do the house chores and stuff. So he was never going to win. So the audacity for him to go on the date and then come back and try and sort of minimize it, he was never going to win. You have Carina sort of saying, she's a very loving and very caring person. She's got a very good soul. And it's like, you've got a good soul, but you say nasty things about people behind their backs. That's where she lost me. The moment she started saying nasty things about the other participants, that's when she got me. Her and her husband, I don't care. The moment you try to play an angel and then you're busy sort of being spiteful, vindictive and malicious to everybody else, I'm sorry, but you lose me. So for her to say, I've forgiven him for a lot of things, and this time I think I've done enough. And it's like, girl, he's forgiven you for the things you said about Awhina's sister Cleo. He's overlooked the things you've said about Rhea and Jeff. So the audacity to make it seem like you're the peaceful and the loving and the caring one, and he is the one who's always in the wrong, doesn't make sense. And I don't get how anybody else doesn't notice this, because Carina's not a victim. She's good at playing a victim, but she's not a victim. She knows what she does. She'll always be nice on camera, and then away from the camera, I have a feeling she said some things that I'm surprised Paul hasn't sort of come back and sort of exposed her more of what she said. If she could say what she said at the wives retreat or when they had their wives outing, I can only imagine what she's saying off camera. After seeing her swear and shout when she found out that Paul went out, I can only imagine what she says when the cameras are turned off. So all the other couples or all the other participants are getting ready for the dinner party. Everyone is sentimental because this is the last dinner party. You have Rhea and Jeff. They're sort of walking down memory lane. They're sort of reminiscing over the first dinner party, how nervous they were. And even though there was no sort of romantic connection, they had their friendship. And because of the friendship, they were able to sort of support one another and make sure that they were good. As they walked in, they held hands and they were very supportive. I think Rhea and Jeff could not have sort of navigated their journey any better. I think there's a lot of emotional intelligence that has played a part in their journey, because they were able to sort of say, yes, we're friends. Yes, we've done this before, but let us take a step back and let's behave as though we're meeting for the first time and let's see how far this will go. So they have seen their sort of journey and their romantic connection blossom and sort of grow into this amazing thing that they are hoping to continue to nourish as they go out into the real world. I love this for them. They couldn't have done it better. They didn't allow outside voices to sort of dictate where they were going and what they were going to do. You have Ryan and Jackie apparently is moved back into the apartment. They have matching clothes. Jackie's giddy, she's excited. And it's like, but you took a number from somebody else and told them that you'd see them soon in about 10 days. And for me, it's the audacity to think you're on a dating show. You're going to try and keep this massive secret and hope that the producers are not going to say anything. They've asked you the question. They're going to ask one of the participants to ask you, and it is going to come out. There's no way they're not going to do that because they need ratings, they need drama, they need toxicity. So they're going to bring it out. And it's a pity Jackie decided to sort of sit on it and not say anything. If I were Jackie, I would have told Ryan, I didn't know where we were going, so I spoke to this guy on the date and we did exchange numbers, and that's it. Because had they left the experiment together as a couple and had they gone in the real world and were still together until it started airing, how was Ryan going to feel being played for a fool? Because his whole persona is his manliness, and even Jackie said that. So the idea that she would do this behind his back is something that I don't think he was prepared for. You have Awhina and Adrian. Awhina and Adrian, they're getting ready for the dinner party in separate apartments. Awhina is feeling some type of way about the fact that Adrian, it doesn't seem to have reached home that he betrayed her by going on the date, and that she's upset because he went on the date, even though she knows that she also betrayed him by going on the date. And it's like, Awhina is just trying to make a mountain out of a molehill. Why am I saying that? At the end of the day, she knows this man is not interested in her. She should be upset with the producers because she had a man who was most likely going to be a better partner in Tim, and they didn't set her up with him. Instead, they set her up with someone who was going to be toxic and dramatic, and they focused on the ratings as compared to focusing on her and her emotions and her feelings and the possibility of her living with a successful relationship. That's who her film should be for. Adrian has shown her who he is, and she has chosen to ignore him. So the audacity to be upset, to say, oh, Adrian, he's not upset that I'm upset, that it doesn't make sense. It really doesn't. You have Beth and TJ. Beth and TJ, for me, I don't even see the purpose of it. I don't even see the purpose of Beth being upset, especially after what I found out about TJ online. I don't even know why I was online. Apparently, he was on another reality show. So this is his second reality show. I thought, as someone who was coming from a family where there'd been arranged marriages, he would be open to the idea of being in an arranged marriage. So someone who wrote in the comments that he wasn't ready for marriage, it could be he chose to be on a bigger show than the one that he was on, or I don't know. Because at the end of the day, there's no explanation to him suddenly turning around and saying, oh, there's no romantic spark there's no romantic connection, it's not growing. And it's like, he's just taken Dave's words and just repackaged them and just put them in a box and given them to his wife. That's the impression that I get. I'm going to repeat again. I personally feel like Carina either is related to or is friends with someone on production. The audacity to have this montage of everyone sort of questioning why Paul went on this date and why Paul felt the need to sort of betray her, and sort of as playing her as the victim, and that it will depend on her whether she wants to forgive him or not. He's been a bad husband, don't get me wrong, and she has been a terrible wife in the things that she said about other people. And so the audacity to make it seem like she is the victim, I'm not buying it. I'm sorry, I'm not. You have the experts talking about the final challenge and it's the final dinner party, and they're hoping to see if there's any fallout from the final challenge. And it's like, what did you expect, Sherlock Holmes? You expected them to go on the dates and then come back and be happy-go-lucky? No. Anyway, you have all the couples going on. Well, in the cars going to the dinner party, bar Paul and Carina, because Carina wants to make a statement, in my opinion. So she wants to walk in on her own. That way, Paul is the bad guy, as far as I'm concerned. So you have Jeff and Ree. They walk in first. They're in a happy space. They're excited. They're reminiscing on the journey and the fact that they didn't participate in the challenge. They're followed in by Jamie and Dave. Jamie reveals that she was very curious. She wanted to know who she had been matched with, but the person stood her up. And Jeff is in hysterics because he can't understand that, she went on this. She accepted the challenge, but then was stood up by the person. So she still hasn't met the person. And I think everyone knows that Jamie is so nosy. This is why they're not taking her seriously about her going on the date as a romantic sense. They know she's a nosy person, and she went on it just because she wanted to know what the other person looked like. Awhina and Adrian walk in next. But before they walk in, you hear them bickering outside. And it's like, these two, I don't even know why they're still in the experiment, except for the fact that they just want to be on TV. They come in and they're unhappy. They reveal that they both participated in the challenge. And Adrian is not taking it seriously. He does not feel he's at fault. And he doesn't feel like he did anything wrong. Whereas you have Awhina. Awhina feels like Adrian did something wrong. And she also feels guilty that she went on the date. But then she later reveals to Jamie that, the guy she went on the date with was a very nice guy. He asked about her child, what she does for a living. For the first 3 weeks, Adrian apparently didn't even ask her what she did for a living. And it's like, Adrian was there for a good time. And so he wasn't bothered about getting to know someone seriously. All he wanted was to have an amazing time, and that was it. Jackie and Ryan walk in, and Ryan is saying to everyone, welcome us back, the confused couple. We don't know whether we're coming or going. And everyone just is used to them and their messiness, so they don't take them seriously. They just look at them and just say, oh, okay, they're back together again. All right, what's next? Jackie and Ryan are followed in by Beth and TJ. And you can see the awkwardness when they walk in. The fact that they are sort of... there's this tension between the two of them. They both did the challenge. The sad bit is TJ, I don't think, really liked this woman. I think he liked the idea of who she was until she gave him an egg. And sadly for him, she became emotionally invested. And so now it's difficult for him to untangle himself. And I think this is why he's trying to be a politician and be very cordial with her. That way, he doesn't come across as the bad guy. Jamie's actually surprised that they came in together, because she's saying if they're not getting along, why are they coming together? They should have come in separately. That would make more sense, because otherwise he's using Beth as a camouflage. That way people don't attack him. And that's the truth, in my opinion. That's the truth. You have Paul and Carina, they're in their cars. They're sort of talking about the fact that this is the first time they've attended the dinner party separately. And they've always felt like a strong couple, because they've always gone everywhere together. And so now that they're having to go separately, they are very nervous. I think Carina is going to play the victim card for as long as she can. I don't know whether they'll stay for the final commitment ceremony or the final vows. I hope they leave, because at the end of the day, I am tired of Carina. I don't know whether it's just me, but I'm tired. I'm going to say this. Carina has someone looking out for her on the show. That's what I'm going to say. She has someone looking out for her best interest on the show. Because at the end of the day, the sympathy tour, I'm not buying it. And I'm going to leave this message here that when the truth comes out, it will come out. That Carina is not the victim that we're being sold, as far as I'm concerned, because she's done just as many bad things as Paul has done. Paul might be worse by punching the door, but she said some very terrible things about the other wives in the experiment. So I don't buy her victim storyline. Anyway, she sits down with the ladies. They're empathizing with her. They're consoling her. They're empowering her. And it's like, I don't get it. You have Beth saying, oh, she's an amazing girl. I don't know why Paul would go on a date with somebody else. There has to be a reason. There must be things going on behind closed doors that anybody else is not privy to, even the producers. And so the idea that we would think that she's been an angel and Paul has been this mean, malicious man all this time doesn't make sense. Her kicking off, yes, she was upset, she felt betrayed, but her kicking off and swearing like a trooper was enough to open everybody else's eyes to say, well, she's not the sweet angel that she pretends to be all the time, or that's the impression that I get. You have the guy sitting and just sort of wondering what's going to happen to him when he walks in, because everybody's nervous, because they know something is going to come out and they don't know how that will be processed, because the guys can't understand why he would go on the date if he was very happy in his relationship. Maybe he's not being truthful about his relationship. Maybe his relationship is not all we've been told it is. Yes, he punched the door. That's not an amazing thing. Yes, he revealed the secret. That's not an amazing thing. Yes, he went on the date. That's not an amazing thing. But also, she has done things that we are not being told. She's said horrible things on the ladies' night. She's made the comments to Jamie at the dinner party. She's made the comment about Cleo. So they're both not victims. They're just as bad as one another. Anyway, Paul walks in. Nobody stands up to go and greet him. He goes to pour himself a drink, and then Awhina is just making jokes with him, like, oh, you're wearing black, are you here for your funeral? And he says, maybe. And then when he goes to pull, Carina for a chat, you have Carina looking around for everybody, like, what is she trying to do? What is she playing at? Because she makes it feel like she's terrified. She doesn't want to be with him. because she's afraid. And it's like, what are you afraid of? That he's going to go on another date with somebody else? Why would you do that? Why would you sit there? If you love and care for someone, why would you sit there while people are tearing them down and not stop the people from tearing them down? Why would you make it seem like that person is so violent and aggressive that you're afraid to be with him? She's not a victim. She knows exactly what she's doing. Had he played the submissive role as Jeff played, then she would have been happy with him and they would have walked out happily ever after. But because he's done these things that have not sort of gone according to her plan, this is why she's now playing the victim. So the waiter comes out and says dinner is served. I think production didn't want Paul and Carina having a conversation away from the table. They wanted them to speak in the presence of everyone. So everybody goes to the dinner table. Everybody is excited that it's the last dinner party. So they're cheersing and they're excited. And then out of the blue, it's the audacity for me. It's the audacity. You have TJ ask the question and it's like, TJ, you have your own problems. You need to sit down and keep quiet. Because he asks Paul that, to walk in on your own is a big statement. So we want to know what's happened. And Paul then reveals, well, Paul and Carina look at one another and Paul is sort of asking Carina, do you want to say what happened or do you want me? And Carina knew Paul was going to hang himself. So she allowed him to speak before she spoke. And besides, she had already come in before him. So she had fed everybody else whatever she wanted to feed them. And Paul was the one who was having to sort of speak up for himself. He tried to minimize the situation, to say that, he never meant any harm. He went on the date and before he got there, he regretted going because his curiosity got the better of him. He regretted going. When he got there, he started talking about Carina and the girl was asking him, if you're in such a good position, why did you come? And so for me, I don't get why everyone is dragging him through the mud at the end of the day. You have the likes of Beth saying Carina is the most amazing girl and I don't get, and it's like, you don't know some of the stuff she said on camera. You really don't. Carina is not the victim that you're all making her out to be, because if Carina really cared about this man and really liked this man and was planning on a future of moving in and having children with this man at some point, she would be protecting him from everybody. But to have him sit there and have people firing questions at him and you can actually see he's drowning, nothing he says is hitting home, and for her to sit there and watch it doesn't make sense to me. Because if you like someone, if you love someone, if you see a future with them, you're always going to protect them regardless of whether they're right or wrong. You're always going to fight their battle. So the idea that she sat there and didn't say anything and she could tell that this man was drowning, this man knows he's wrong. I don't know why we didn't get to hear what exactly took place, what his justification was behind going. Everyone says, oh, you're in an amazing relationship. Yes, for what everybody else can see, but we are not there behind closed doors when the cameras go away. We don't know what actually happens, and we don't know. We will never know until Paul opens his mouth and speaks up as to why he chose to go on this date. I didn't think the likes of Beth and TJ needed to involve themselves. I think they need to focus on their relationship. Dave has just got out of the mud recently. He needs to focus on his relationship with Jamie and not mind other people's business. You had Ree and Jeff sort of saying to him, if you were that happy in your relationship, you shouldn't have gone. Yes, he should not have gone, but how do we know if he was very happy? Let me get this right. We spent the majority of the episode bringing down Paul. Are we bringing him down because of what he did, or are we bringing him down because of the backlash? You have Carina start to talk. She talks about how she feels betrayed. There's been countless things that have happened. That we have the playback. We have the fallout from him punching the door. We have the fallout from him revealing the secret to Awhina. And then now we have the fallout of this. And it's like, I don't get it. At the end of the day, the fallout from the door, he's wrong for punching the door, but she's also wrong for just blubbing out that, for blurting out that she had slept with a rapper. So let's not confuse that. Let's not pretend like he just punched the door out of the blue. He is wrong for not being able to control his emotions, but she also did something bad. In regards to the Awhina situation, she is the one who made the comment that triggered Paul to sort of reveal to Awhina. Nobody knows Paul's relationship with Awhina. They could be the closest of friends like Ree and Jeff were before they entered the experience. So the idea, had he gone and told someone random, had he gone and told Jackie or had he gone and told Beth, then you'd say he's being malicious. He told the person who's related to his ex-partner. So there could be a friendship between him and Awhina, and we'll never know that. But he is now the bad guy because he revealed the secret. He should have kept quiet about the comment, the derogatory comment that his wife made. He is wrong for going on a date as part of the challenge. But everybody else, we're happy to ignore it. We're happy to ignore Jamie and say, Jamie's my girl, yes. We're happy to ignore Jamie and say, Jamie was curious. We are happy to say, oh, TJ and Beth, they're going through a challenging time, so this is why they went on a date. We're happy to say Ryan and Jackie were going through a challenging time. This is why they went on the date. But for Paul, that's the crime. No, I'm not buying it. I have a feeling Paul's edit is set to meet a narrative, which is to say that he was the bad guy in his relationship and she was the saint, irregardless of what she's done in this experience. She was the saint, he was the villain, and he's the reason behind the breakdown of their relationship. That's the impression that I get. And sadly, it leaves a bad taste in my mouth because I don't think it's justified for him to continue to apologize. There was no need for him to continue to apologize. I think when he became overwhelmed, when everybody was going after him, and when she kept saying, no, he should have stood up and walked out of the room. That's just my opinion. If that were me, I would have stood up and walked out and gone home because it's pointless. She doesn't want to forgive me. And the fact that she was listening into people's opinions and trying to sort of navigate or sort of portray her emotions according to what everybody else said, because Ree said there's no coming back from that. People like Beth were encouraging her because they were telling everybody else to keep quiet so that she could speak. And so I feel like Carina was playing a role. She was playing a role, the aggrieved wife, the betrayed wife, the wife that has been done such a great disservice by her husband. It's unforgivable. That's the impression that I got. So the conversation turns to Jackie and Ryan, and you have everyone surprised that they're actually one of the more, stable couples at the moment. They seem all lovey-dovey. Ryan has these positive things to say about, Jackie. Jackie says, she regrets her choices and the things that she did. Is anyone surprised? No, because Ryan is living in this sort of la-la land where he's hoping that they've overcome the hurdles and they're in a happy space. And I think his friends had spoken to him before he came back, and this is why he was riled up. Now that he's back with Jackie and Jackie has managed to give him the reassurance that he needs in order to feel like, his relationship is successful, he is happy to go along with it. For how long? I don't think it will last long. I think it will last as long as the next episode, and then they will break up because I don't see them having a future. I love the fact that Adrian said, he thinks that Jackie and Ryan are going to last a lot longer than most of the couples. And that could be true. I think they will last longer than, Paul and Carina and Adrian and Awhina, but I don't know about the other two couples. So I can't wait to see what happens when Jackie is forced to sort of reveal her secret. You have Awhina and Adrian. I'm surprised we skipped over TJ and Beth. Whether it wasn't that serious, it wasn't as dramatic. Maybe that's why we didn't get to see them, because they were there, but nobody asked them about, going on the dates and what happened there, unless I missed it, but I didn't. I watched every single minute of this. So Awhina and Adrian sort of revealed that they both went on the dates, but they felt, Awhina felt bad because she felt like she failed the task. Adrian, now in front of everyone, is apologetic that he went on the date. He didn't need to go on the date. He's asked about the girl. He talks about her, and then he says they live in the same town, so that would save him from moving. Otherwise, he doesn't see himself moving anytime soon. For Awhina to be shocked, this is nothing new. This is nothing new. This man hasn't asked you about your job for 3 weeks. This man hasn't asked you about your child. Yes, you told him you didn't want your child discussed on TV, but still he hasn't asked you anything to indicate that he's looking at a future with you. He was living in the moment day by day until the very end of the show. So the idea that you think there was ever a future with Adrian, it's puzzling for me. It really is puzzling because I don't quite get it. We all could tell that Adrian was in the moment. And so for Awhina to sort of give him an ultimatum and sort of say to him, do you think there's any need for us to go to final vows? What did you expect him to say? He said no. And so if that were the case, I would have packed my bags and gone. I would have packed my bags and left, because there is no amount of sex that's worth putting up with what Awhina has put up with this man. There's nothing to justify that. And she broke down and he didn't even follow her. He didn't even seem apologetic. He doesn't even seem bothered. As long as he can be on TV and get the clout that he needs, he's okay. And so I'm sad for her that she was devastated, realizing that maybe this is not it for her. The moment she sat down with Tim is the moment she should have realized that Adrian wasn't it. Adrian was a mistake. and she should have kept it stepping. But no, she kept, you know, wanting to push through, hoping that things would work and whatever. But nothing is ever going to work with this man. I love Jamie running to console her. That was really cute and really sweet for someone to be there for her. But she needs friends that are going to be honest with her, like a sister. People that are going to tell her the truth, that this man is not it for you. You can do better, and you need to keep it stepping. I can't wait for Sunday, because that's when Final Vows is. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And click the link in my video to watch my review from episode 35. Bye, guys.